NASCAR admits they're baffled by the lack of tire wear at Bristol. Denny Hamlin calls attention to Goodyear's lack of quality control. And Justin Haley has a contract with Hendrick Motorsports. What does that mean for next year and beyond? How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. Folks are still scratching their heads about what we saw or didn't see at Bristol on Saturday night. Everyone's chiming in. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, NASCAR. We'll break down all the latest quotes, theories in just a few moments, but I want to begin with Spire Motorsports. Obviously, the news broke late last week that Justin Haley will leave Rickware Racing to join Spire Motorsports beginning this weekend at Kansas, and then that deal will carry over into 2025. What we learned over the weekend at Bristol is that Justin Haley's contract is with Hendrick, or at least Rick Hendrick is involved in some capacity. Brad Keselowski, whose team shares a campus with Rickware, likely knew about this deal, said this in the media center Friday. Quote, "Justin had a career opportunity that wasn't anything we, RFK, could match. To be a part of Rick Hendrick's deal there, and what that means for him after 2025, that's their announcement to make. But certainly, everybody can respect and understand that." Shoot, yeah, if I'm a race car driver and someone flops a contract on my desk with Rick Hendrick's name on it, you'd have to hold me back from trying to sign that thing. But Keselowski mentioning Hendrick in addition to the recent rumors that Hendrick had a fifth driver under contract doesn't take a mathematician to put two and two together and figure out we're talking about Justin Haley here. Door Bumper Clear, Dirty Mo Media podcast, also mentioned this week that Spire may be in talks to become a Tier 1 Chevy team. Spotter Brett Griffin said this, quote, "There's a rumor that Spire is in a lot of talks with Chevrolet to become a Tier 1 team, basically a mini Hendrick, which is a huge deal if Spire gets that and makes that happen." It's taking everything I have to not make a mini-me joke right here. Spire Motorsports continues to make potentially huge moves. Look, they've had an influx of cash in the past year or so. Gainbridge coming on board, what that might mean behind the scenes. They've hired Michael McDowell, veteran driver, for next season. This year, they found something with Carson Hocevar, no doubt. They've also signed Rodney Childers for next year. Now they're adding Justin Haley, who has turned heads this year with Rickware Racing. High ceiling, team him up with a veteran championship crew chief. Something magical may happen. Spire is making moves, might as well just jump straight into the deep end. Take the plunge. Become a Tier 1 Chevy team. Make that investment. Become a mini Hendrick, as Brett Griffin put it. The Spire-Hendrick connection isn't exactly out of left field. I mean, Raja Karuth drives a Spire truck with Hendrick cars branding all over it. Steve Letarte, former Hendrick crew chief, is, like a consultant at Spire? I'm not sure exactly what his current role is, but he's been with that team for several years. I know Justin Haley's going to get sort of a preseason here over the next few weeks, a trial with Spire, but going into next year, I think expectations are extremely high. I'm big on Justin Haley. I think he's very good. We'll find out next year if he has the potential to be great. What stands out to me with Justin Haley is he's only 25 years old. He is extremely young, but he has the experience of like a 30-year-old veteran. Justin Haley ran 2 full years in the Craftsman Truck Series. GMS Racing won 3 races in the 2018 season, looked pretty darn good. After those 2 years, he ran basically 3 full years in the Xfinity Series, won 4 races with Colleague, made it to the Championship 4, I believe in 2020, the pandemic year with no practice. And he's been in the Cup Series now for nearly 4 full-time seasons. He's only 25, but he has so much experience. And not just one-offs here and there, in and out of the car. Every week, he has been on this grind for 7, 8 plus years now. There aren't many 25-year-olds in the business who can say that. So while we haven't seen Justin Haley in top Cup Series equipment, he is extraordinarily experienced for a 25-year-old. That, to me, is a huge, huge plus. I'm not ready yet to make way too early 2025 season predictions, but for sure, that 7-car should run better than it's run this season. Should probably run better than it did last season, especially with Rodney Childers on the box. I'm excited for Justin Haley. I'm also nervous for him. We saw this year with LaJoie. With good cars comes high expectations. You don't live up to those expectations, mentions, folks are quick to dismiss you. So I'm excited for Haley, nervous for Justin Haley. I'm glad he gets these next few weeks. I know it's not the exact same group, exact same team, but he gets a chance to sort of feel out the Spire organization before they start full-time next season. As far as Hendrick Motorsports supposedly being involved in this deal, look, Kyle Larson isn't going anywhere anytime soon. I don't think Chase Elliott is going anywhere anytime soon. Neither is William Byron. Even Alex Bowman, his deal goes through at least 2026. And the way he's performed in these playoffs under pressure, I wouldn't be looking to make a change, especially not if Ally likes him. So I'm not sure this Hendrick deal truly means Justin Haley is in line for a Hendrick Motorsports seat. It likely has more to do with Spire becoming a Tier 1 Chevy team, strengthening their Hendrick alliance perhaps. This just being part of that larger partnership. But excited for Justin Haley. Gonna move on from that now. Let's talk tires. The spring race at Bristol Motor Speedway was a happy accident. 54 lead changes, tires cording after 30, 40, 50 laps, tons of movement throughout the pack, drivers forced to save their equipment. The fall Bristol race, Saturday night, same tire compound, same track, same series, was the exact opposite. Tires fell off less than a second over a lengthy run. We're able to go well over 100 laps without cording. Two completely different products. Fans fell in love with the high tire wear spring race, and as we noted yesterday, collectively did not appreciate the Bristol night race. NASCAR Vice President of Competition Elton Sawyer admitted this morning on SiriusXM NASCAR radio that NASCAR is baffled by what happened. Said, quote, "We're baffled, to be perfectly honest. We felt like we had a recipe there from the spring that gave us what we were looking for in our short track racing, putting kind of the tire management back into the driver's hands." Obviously, that did not happen. Quick shout out to Dustin Long, NBC Sports, for compiling many of Elton Sawyer's quotes. He continued saying that NASCAR will meet with Goodyear this week. He said, quote, "Obviously, we were disappointed as a company for our fans. Those are things we'll learn from, and we'll figure out what happened and get that corrected as we go forward." We've been saying for quite some time now, NASCAR is asking Goodyear to fix major design flaws with the next-gen car, at short track specifically. That's a lot of pressure to put on Goodyear. If I'm being fair, that's not fair to put that much pressure on Goodyear. But at the same time, as more information begins to surface, it does not sound like Goodyear is capable of giving NASCAR and its fans the kind of product they want. I said this on Sunday, and yesterday, Denny Hamlin on his podcast Actions Detrimental seemed to agree and gave additional context. Hamlin said that he's heard Goodyear's process for developing racing tires is antiquated, outdated when compared to how they develop tires for normal street cars. And Hamlin said that Goodyear has struggled to deliver a consistent racing product, and he gave a specific example. Quote, "I can't remember if it was the spring of this year or the fall of last year at Martinsville. There was a date code that was 3/10 faster than all the other date codes. I believe at that time Goodyear was like, yeah, that came in a little low on our softness, but we thought it was enough in range where it wouldn't make a difference. It was amazing at Martinsville. Whoever put them on drove straight to the front. It was like they had an option tire." Wow. So not only has Goodyear been unreliable when it comes to projecting how much tire fall off we should expect, they also seem to struggle with quality control. No two sets of racing tires are exactly the same. That's not good whatsoever. Now, Denny Hamlin mentions on this show, and I don't know anything about this, he doesn't even know for sure, but he suggested that maybe there are some existing labor contracts that prevent Goodyear from changing the way they develop racing tires. I don't know. Maybe it's out of their control to some degree. We don't know. What we do know is why NASCAR continues to put so much pressure on Goodyear. Hamlin said, quote, "It is a car problem. We are trying to fix it with tires because that is the most economical way to fix it. Me, as a car owner, I do not want to buy any more parts or pieces for this next-gen car. I said years ago we need to design a next-gen 2.0. Take that off the record because it's just going to be way too expensive." Yep, like I said yesterday, the next-gen car isn't going anywhere, at least not for several years. Before we move off Hamlin's comments here, he did end On a somewhat optimistic note, he said he's excited about the softer tire compound they're bringing to Martinsville here in a few weeks. He also pointed out correctly, I believe, that the next-gen car races better today at several tracks than it did 2 years ago. So some improvements have been made. I look at Watkins Glen a couple weeks ago, for example. Wasn't a fantastic race by any means, but was significantly better than 2023. And Goodyear deserves credit for that. So does NASCAR. So there has been progress, just not as much as quickly as many fans and drivers have hoped for. I'm tired of talking tires, but we'll give Kyle Larson the final word. He posted a long thread on X today. Side note, I will say I love that Kyle Larson recently has been more outspoken, more quotable, like, the Max Verstappen stuff. I love that. Larson is one of the best drivers in the world. He's allowed to talk. So talk. More drivers, I wish, would show this kind of character more often. Anyway, Larson, the Bristol night race winner, compiled his thoughts into this long post. I'll go ahead and read it. Larson said, quote, "All this tire wear talk about Bristol got me wondering, have we ever had a lot of tire wear at Bristol besides the spring of 24? Not much of any. Have we seen great races there? Absolutely. Have we seen duds where Kyle Busch leads 300 plus laps? Sure. From what I remember in my career before the next-gen car was we had cars with some disparity that could run closer to one another in traffic and a wheel tire combo that got hotter, which in essence gave us less grip on the long run. I've ran with 900 horsepower all the way down to 650 or less potentially. High downforce, low downforce, and everything in between. Bristol's always been tough to pass. Speed on pit road, and most likely there's a good chance you're going a lap down on the next run. That's the way it is, and has been for a very long time. We had more natural cautions from wrecks because cars could run closer, and we never quite made it a full fuel run because eventually someone's right front tire would explode from overheating. I'm not saying I want tires to explode again, but we're trying to crutch this race car on short tracks with the tire and then blame Goodyear every week because cars can't pass. I don't have the answer to fix what we currently have, and neither do you, but please stop blaming Goodyear. It's not a tire problem. And also, have any of you ran around Bristol with or without PJ1 or resin for that matter? Yeah, that's right. So, zip it emoji. Temper your expectations. We're driving spec race cars. Whew, there's a lot there. At the end, sure, spec race cars are part of the problem. Everyone's equal, going the same speed. And again, I'm with Larson that it's unfair to blame Goodyear for all the problems. The thing is, because the cars and the drivers, for that matter, are more equal than ever, every little difference is amplified. Every small difference is facing even more scrutiny. Tires have always mattered, obviously, but I think we're more likely today to notice a 0.3 of a second per lap disparity between one set of tires and another set of tires than we were 15 years ago because everything else is so even. So I do think Goodyear deserves some criticism for this lack of quality control. But to Larson's point, we wouldn't have to scrutinize Goodyear this much if the next-gen car raced better in traffic and didn't promote so much parity, especially at the short track. So, interesting comments. Again, wanted to give Larson the final word there. Some big-name drivers speaking out in a big way this week. Wanted to share those quotes with y'all, but that's really all I've got. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with Kyle Larson's long dissertation. What about Denny Hamlin calling attention to Goodyear's quality control concerns? A lot here. We also talked Justin Haley. I want to know what you think down in the comments below. Big thank you to my Patreon supporters, all that great stuff. Thanks for watching. I will see you later this week. More content coming your way soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day, folks.